up, gamers? I'm Jason.
And I'm Julie.
And today on Dice and Dragons, we are going back to a familiar game system, universe. Not sure what to call it, but it is definitely a new version. This is Zombicide Invader by, who should I say first? What do you think?
The designers.
The designers? All right. So by Guillotine Games, it's Jean-Baptiste Lulien, Nicolas Raoult, and Raphaël Guiton. They're French, if you're wondering why I'm saying it in French. And it is published by Cool Mini or Not, otherwise known as CMON Games. I know people have been saying they want to be called Come On, but it just doesn't work with that spelling. So now Julie will tell you more about the game itself.
It's a cooperative game that plays 1 to 6 players, 14 and above, in about 60 minutes.
Yes, and it can be expanded up to 12 players with
12 players?
Yes.
Doesn't fit around this table.
No, definitely not. With the Kickstarter exclusive game that is its own box, Dark Tide, you get another 6 boards, so up to 12. Interesting to see if we'd ever, I don't know if we'd ever get that many to play this game.
Don't think so.
So just to throw you a curveball, Julie, what do people do in Zombicide? What are we doing?
Well, we've got missions, and we have to evade the zombies. What else would you say? You're the one who normally does this.
Yes, well, we've got to accomplish those objectives that we have during the missions, and then meet the condition in order to survive. But mainly surviving the zombies, because in this game, if one person dies, you all lose. So, what time is it now?
It's time to grab our drinks.
Grab our fellow survivor.
I'm still your best friend, aren't I?
We're survivors in this.
Okay. We gotta take it to the table.
I'm looking forward to see how they change the game. I mean, I've played Modern. We have Black Plague and Green Horde. Mainly just Green Horde. And, yeah, should be different. What do you think?
It looks different. Let's see.
Now we are quickly going to take a look at the components for Zombicide Invader. Now this is only going to be the components for the base game. For those of you that have seen our unboxing, you know we did get the Kickstarter exclusives, but we're not going to be covering that in this video. So what we have here are the 9 tiles that come with the game. They're all double-sided, so you can see there's a lot of interior spaces, exterior spaces, which do work a little differently in Zombicide. And just want to give you a little taste of that. And don't worry, we're going to explain all that stuff in the how to play. Of course, like in every Zombicide, you do get door tokens. This time there is a destroyed door token because these also work a little differently. And for objective reasons, there are colored ones. You start with a purple and a green door. Here we've got the noise tokens, which you're going to use to denote when you make noise. First player token, the machine activation tokens, meaning once a machine's been activated, you need to mark it with a token. There's reasons for that, which we'll explain in the how to play. You've got your colored objectives and your standard objectives, as you can see with the red, so blue, white, purple, and green. Now these two relate to your 2 new bots that you can use. And then, of course, your spawn zones, which are also color-coded, and may have some specific effects depending on the mission. And of course, the exit token. This is also for the camouflage skill, which lets you hide from the Xenos. Now, I haven't taken everything out. As you'll notice, I only put 2 of the D6s out there. The game does come with 6 of them. You can see some of the colored pegs that you're going to be getting to fill up everything that you need for the player board. Now I'm going to grab one and we'll take a look at it in a little more detail. We do have all the different colored bases, so you can see the 6 colored bases and that they will correspond to the pegs. You do have these new items, oxygen tanks, O2 tanks, that you need when you go outside. We'll talk about those. And all the starting equipment is represented by a black equipment card, which differs from the 2 that you're going to see right here. Now, I just want to take a little bit of a closer look at the board. You'll notice that for upgrades, there's a slot that slides like underneath. So it's very easy to insert something here and then get everything out of the board. Nice little backpack area there as well. Now the game comes with 6 starting characters. So we're going to go through them one by one. We've got Cole, who is a civilian. There are different rules for civilians and soldiers. So you start with 3 and 3. We've got next Vivian, who definitely looks to be a little bit inspired by Ellen Ripley. After that, we've got Mitski. So she seems to be the tech expert of the group. We then have, I believe this one is Jared, who is our bruiser and a melee attacker. We have Magnus, who's the big bear father of the group. We then have Baraka, our female soldier, who is fairly badass. Lastly, we have the Peacekeeper bot, which can be used and even sacrificed to save the group, and the new Falchion sentry gun. We'll also take a look quickly just at the cards you've got here. So these 3 red ones are often going to be removed from the deck. These will always be removed from the deck. They are the prototype energy weapons that you'll be needing for specific reasons. Then after that, you've got a whole slew of different loot from sledgehammers, shotguns, energy cells, SMGs, and of course, for those familiar with Zombicide, even, see if I can find one in here, the dreaded zombie spawn. So keep that in mind. We then have the zombie spawn cards. Now, a different thing about this game is that they're all numbered that you can see here. So if you want to adjust the difficulty, you can only use certain cards if you so choose, which I think is fairly cool. But similar to any Zombicide game, a level red, orange, yellow, and blue spawn. Now we're going to move up the minion track here, well, the zombie track. So we have the workers, which have 5 different minis, as you can see right here. Overall, like the minis, nice sculpt. Plenty of detail for those that are skilled enough at painting them. I'm not going to pick, well, we'll go through all of them. It's not going to take that much longer. So as you can see, cool overall characters. We then have the hunters, who can double activate, are definitely a pain in the butt. They replace the runners from Zombicide. We've got the tanks, who take a fair bit of damage and aren't the easiest to defeat, but there's some new rules to help you with that. So we've got 2 sculpts for the tank. And lastly, we have the Spoiler Abomination. Now, the interesting thing about the spoiler is that we've got a mold zone. So one side is inactive, one side is active. It definitely affects the way the game works a little bit with the mold zones. So we'll talk about that and how to play. But as he moves, he actually spreads mold. And you got to be careful with that because it can definitely cause you some problems down the road. Now, the last thing, which is usually the first thing, we have the rule book. So a nice game round summary at the back. Everything that you need with regards to making sure you have all your right components. I've read through the rule books, fairly straightforward. Has a nice index at the back to find everything, as well as the list of skills. So the index is right back there. And then, of course, you've got all your missions in here as well. There you have it. We've taken a look at the components for Zombicide Invader. Now I'm going to set up the tutorial and teach you guys how to play the game. Now let's take a look at how we're going to set up Zombicide Invader. Now, I only have 2 survivors set up because this is really just a how to play. While I will be interacting with all 6 of them, only 2 of them will be visible. Maybe I'll slide a 3rd one out here after I get this set up. But that's just the way we're going to do it because I don't have the room to show all 6 right now. So let's start with the survivors. You're going to pick your survivor, set up a color. So pick their base them to tell them apart. You will then set up their skill at level blue, their starting health, and those extra 6 pegs that you're going to need later on. You also set their experience to 0. Next, you have the 6 starting weapons. So we have 2 SMGs and 4 cattle prods. You're going to want to divide that up between the characters. Now, as Magnus is more of a ranged character, he's going to start with the SMG. And Mitski will start off with the cattle prod. So there we have it. Survivors are set up. They're ready to go. Next, we need to take a look in the book and see how we set up the map. So I've already set up the tiles based on what's written here in the map. We need to set up the mold zones and the spawn. It'll tell us what all the different symbols mean. And that's really how we're going to do it. We also get our objectives. So it's quite simple. It's to escape with the prototype weapon. We must take the red objective and get out, which means getting to the exit. Now, any special rules regarding that are listed there. So let's get that set up now. You're going to need to grab the mold zones. I'm actually just going to keep the book open on the tutorial page handy. I don't want to make any mistakes. So you can't see it, it's off camera. I'm going to start with the easy stuff. So we're setting up the mold zones. They were listed as active mold zones, and that's important because inactive mold zones will not trigger. And we'll discuss what mold zones do when we get into the how to play. So they need to be set up there. We also, luckily, don't have the spoiler abomination, but we do have some spawns that we start out with a tank and a walker in this zone. And then we have 2 walkers in this zone. We have a runner starting by the airlock, and our player starting area is right here at the corner. So we could place all 6 of our characters. And then I'll just show you quickly. As you can see, and it's shown in a way to make it fit, we also have the bot starting in the same space. This is one complaint that I do have about Zombicide games. It's not always quite enough room. So for the moment, we'll just stick the bot like that. Next, we have the sentry turret. And people are going to be asking, yes, this is one full zone. So the sentry turret goes in this zone. Now we need to get the objective token set up. We need a red objective token here. We also need the spawn points. So we'll get that set up at the same time. We have a spawn which is here. So once again, that is one zone. We also have a spawn up here. We're going to need to grab the exit and place it there. Also need the purple objective, which is going to go right here. Now, I do not seem to have the objective sitting out. So for the moment, I'm just placing a spawn token here. Please remember that that is actually the exit. I will switch it for the exit marker in just a second. But as we've now set up the board, we've got everything completed. I'm actually going to see about fitting a 3rd character here. And we're going to come back at you and teach you how to play the game. Now let's teach you how to play Zombicide Invader. Now, the way I'm going to do this is we're going to go through a full round of the game as just a standard round. I'm going to go through the 3 characters you see here, as well as the 3 that are off camera. So don't worry about that. We'll discuss what they're doing, what their equipment is, and then afterwards, I'll go through just some of the new rules so I get a nice breakdown for those that are already familiar with the game. And if you're not familiar with the game, well, you'll just be able to go through the whole thing. If you are familiar, once again, take a look down below in the timestamps and you'll be able to jump ahead. Now, I just want to make sure I've got this on the right side, as these are of 2 sides, active side and inactive side. So this red side is the inactive side. So as you can see, all these mold areas are active. Now, what are we able to do on our turns? Well, the survivors are able to take 3 actions. So the actions can be move, search, and attack. You may have a special action that you can do as well, such as Mitski's remote control bot. So she's able to control the bot. So let's start with Mitski. Well, the best thing to do is move the bot and her. Now, when someone that has the remote control bot feature moves with the bot, it is able to move with you, does not cost an extra action. Now, your reference cards for that are right here. I'm just going to place them both here on the side up so that you're able to see them and see what kind of damage that they can do. You may be wondering why we're going with Mitski. Well, she's got a nice ranged attack with the bot, and it's letting me teach you a new part of the game. So let's take a look. We're going to need some more dice. As you can see here, the range its minimum range, and I'll pick this up just so you can see the card. Minimum range is 1, maximum range is 3. Amount of dice, what's a success, and how much damage it does. Now, tanks require 2 damage hits to take out, so that's going to be a little bit more complicated. But in any case, we'll start first with the bot. We roll the die, and we only get 1 success, meaning we defeat one of the workers. I'll just place him back here somewhere for the moment. And we give Mitsuki 1 experience point. Just doesn't want to slide up. So there you go. She gained 1 experience. Now, we don't have any items really, and we need to get some in order to be in a position to take out these zombies. So we're going to search, meaning we reach and draw the top of a search card. We've got the MRE, which means we discard this card to gain 3 XP. So not exactly what we wanted, especially as we're leveling up rather quickly, as Mitsuki is now already at 4 XP. And that'll then be the end of her turn. So we'll go on to Magnus, who's going to move. He is also going to shoot using the SMG, but he only gets 2 dice. Not nearly as good. 5+. Luckily for us, it's a 5. We've defeated the other worker. He gains 1 XP. And next, we're going to search. And the difference with Magnus from the others here, you notice this red icon here, he is a soldier. Soldiers may only search in the red security rooms. So as you can see right now in this game, there's only 1 red security room, meaning he's got to try to get some gear now. He gets an energy cell, which is actually quite useless for the moment. So that is his turn. We're now going to go with Dr. Vivian. As you can see her, she will move 1, 2, and she could pick up this remote control. Not sure that's what she wants to do. Actually, you know what? We're going to change that. We're going to actually, no, move 2. I want a little bit more room in this space. She's going to search, and she finds a flak vest, which is a body token, meaning she's got some armor. So we're going to, well, I said flak vest, it's a blade of armor. It's going to go there. Next, we're going to move with our 2 Marine. Sorry, do it one by one. We're going to move the 2 Marines. He's going to search twice. He finds an SMG. Actually, you know what? He's not going to search twice. As he's found an SMG and his weapon is a cattle prod. I'm going to just remember his name. That is Jared. What Jared's going to do is spend 1 action to trade, which is another thing that he can do. He's going to trade it to Magnus, as Jared already has his cattle prod, because that's now going to allow Magnus to do a little bit more. So next, what we'll do is we're going to move Baraka. She's going to do the same thing with regards to searching. See what she gets first. So she gets an energy cell. It's not that great. Just moving it off camera, she's got it equipped. Then take a look at the next thing. So search drone, she can search in any type of building zone. So that's really good because now she can search anywhere, not just in the red zones. Cole is going to move. And what Cole's actually going to do here, he is going to pick up the sentry control here and be able to use it. So he can now use the sentry gun, and he gains 5 XP, meaning he's 2 away from level yellow, which is something we don't want right now. Next, we've now completed this full turn. We must activate the zombies. Now, the way it works is zombies will take 1 action, except for the hunters, which have 2 actions. Their action is always attack, then move, if they're able to. So for example, if a survivor is in their space, they will attack the survivor. Now, workers and hunters deal 1 damage, tanks deal 2 damage, and the spoiler abomination will deal 3 damage. So in the case right now, each of these guys moves 1, the hunter's charging up 2. Next, we must then draw spawn cards for the 2 spawn points. So we'll decide that this is spawn 1, this is spawn 2, flip over the card. So we get 1 extra activation, so that could be really bad, but as we are at level blue, no one activates, not a big deal. Move it off camera. take a look at the next one. We're actually spawning 2 tanks, something that we really didn't want to see right now. So these guys are spawning right there. I've got 1 tank right here. Gonna reach in, pull out the next one, and we've got 2 tanks right there. So spawning always happens at the end. It doesn't happen before, so nothing's gonna like spawn and then activate, which means you can move into a spawn zone. And there you have it. That's round 1 of our play of Zombicide Invader. And you're gonna be continuing to play the game like that as you try to complete the objective. So keep it right here, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna actually maybe do a second round of the game just because that went very quickly. But after that, we will take a look at some of the new rules, specifically the mold zones, stuff regarding the spoiler abominations, as well as the exterior zones. Now let's take a look at round 2 for Zombicide Invader. Now there is one thing I neglected to do. I forgot to use the machine activation token last time. It does get moved in the end phase, but once this bot is triggered, it counts as a survivor. Now, why is that important? That relates to zombie movement. As you notice, I've just sort of moved these zombies back. I've left the spawn where it was. When you left us, this is how things were set up. But I wanted to just correct the zombie movement portion. I did everything properly, it's just that I didn't explain it. So when you're looking at zombie movement, zombies will move towards the most noise. Now, when you shoot certain guns, things like that, you will generate noise, which you can use to mark a noise token. I know lots of people don't do it, but it's fairly important because zombies will move towards the closest survivors. Let's say, for example, that this was their turn to act, as these guys are here and the path is the same. It's 2 squares either way. Your zombies would split like that. You don't get that happening here. Zombies are going to move towards this source as it's the most amount of noise, or zombies will move towards survivors in their line of sight. So line of sight works like that. Now, mold does block line of sights. Don't worry about it. We'll explain exactly how the mold zones work when we take a closer look at the new rules in the next section. So let's move the guys back. Everything moved properly. That was just a quick recap of zombie movement. We do not need the machine activation token, but I'm going to place it here to remind myself that I need to use it. So it's round 2. Things aren't looking that great. We don't have too many ways to defeat the tanks. We're going to try with our good buddy Magnus here. So Magnus has got the SMG, meaning he can make a concentrated attack, which is a new rule. You roll all of your dice for your 2 weapons. As you see, he's dual wielding. And every success, you're then able to double the amount of damage. So it's 2 times the amount of damage that you have, meaning 2 damage weapons will give you 3 damage, meaning you can take out the spoiler abominations. Well, it's not 3, it's actually 4, but 2 SMGs can take out a tank. Let's see what happens when we roll the dice. We unfortunately got only 1 success, meaning we failed. Try again. Once again, we only got 1 success, so we've completely failed. That is the end of Magnus's turn, and we still have this tank there. Well, it's going to be up to Mitski to save the day. She's going to move to, bringing her lovely bot with her. He now is activating, counts as a survivor. He's got a melee attack that for 3 dice and 4 plus does 2 damage. So a little bit of a risk, but we should get it. Luckily we do. We successfully defeat the tank. Mitski gains 1 XP, and she wasn't sitting properly. She only had 4 from earlier. She had 1, 3, she had 4. Yep, so there she is at 5 XP. And did I bump her up to 6? Yeah. Sorry, the 5 and the 6 look alike. So there we go, 5 XP. My apologies. So there we have it. We've defeated one of them. Now we could try to shoot into that area, but just to note, any failures, that's a great roll. So in this case, for example, Cole, who's equipped with the SMG, would be able to take out that character. So in any case, let's see what we're going to do next. We really need probably some better gear. We're actually going to have Vivian search as she's the closest. Let's see what she gets. She gets the light machine gun. Good weapon for her, but not going to help out much. Search again. She has found the sniper rifle. Well, I want to have a ranged and a light machine gun. So 3 plus 1 die, we do 2 damage. Maybe we can snipe this worker. Hopefully we don't hit Mitsuki by mistake. That's a 1. That's terrible. We actually do friendly fire damage to Mitsuki. So that was not the best move that we've made, actually. Well, we've got to save her. She's going to get damaged. Jared's charging in. He's got his cattle prod. Let's see if we can kill the guy. Luckily we do. He dies. Put him back here. And Jared gains 1 XP. That leaves it as Baraka's turn. She wants to try to find some better gear. We're going to search first. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I have it right here in front of me. She has these search drones, so she can search in any room. She's going to move, then search, which means she's got another search drone, which is kind of useless. So what she's actually going to do is she would spend her last action trading that to Magnus, making sure that he can now search as well. That just leaves Cole with his SMG, so he's going to move 1. He's got 1. He's got 2 chances to kill the runner. Fails there. Trying again. Luckily we get it. Well, I said runner, sorry, that's what they're called in Zombicide Green Horde. We've then defeated it, and we took 2 shots, meaning we generated some noise. There's also a noise token where we took the shot there. Now, you might be wondering why I haven't used this turret. Can't shoot through exterior walls. So that is the second round of the game. We now then need to activate the zombies. So the zombies are going to move in a pack towards the most amount of noise. Meaning we're going to have both of our guys come charging in here. Now, if we want to be more strategic, we could have made the noise equal and they would have split up, pulling 1 away. But we kind of want both of them there, so that's just fine. It's the end phase. We get rid of the noise tokens. We spawn some zombies, drawing top 2 cards. Spawn 1, spawn 2 again. So we spawn 2 hunters. And we spawn 4 workers. 2 hunters spawn outside. And then we have 4 workers that spawn here. So we've taken you through 2 rounds of the game. I'll just move that off camera. I hope it's quite clear basically what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be playing. You might be wondering why as one person I'm controlling 6 characters. The game is balanced around 6 players, so you will need all 6. Don't forget that. I'm just mentioning that in case you jumped ahead. Now, let's take a look at some of the new rules that are specific to Zombicide Invader. Keep it right here. We'll be back in a flash. Now let's talk about the new rules for Zombicide Invader. So we do have our setup that's left over from the second round. I will be moving some stuff around here, so bear with me. First, we're going to talk about outside. Now, to go outside in the game, you must move through an area marked airlock. So these are the only 2 ways outside. To get outside, you must have O2. In order to get O2, you need to go to an O2 room, spend an action to then gain and equip the O2 card. So you must equip it in an active body slot. I know that's cool. That's Vivian. But that's how you will be able to go outside, is by equipping and finding O2. Now, if all O2 rooms get destroyed by mold, you will not be able to do that. So we've talked about mold. You might be wondering what mold is. Where does it come from? Well, it comes from the spoiler abominations. So let's say this guy spawned outside. First and foremost, mold does not form outside. He's now moved, and got in here. The moment he steps inside, he creates a mold zone. Now, mold zones cannot be searched. They do limit line of sight, and they destroy any features of the room except for the airlock. So as the Spore Abomination would be moving through, he'd be spreading more and more mold. Now, you can draw zombie spawn cards that will trigger spawn effects on every active mold zone. Now, if you use a flamethrower, you're able to destroy an active mold zone, flipping to the inactive side. That's called by playing Hellfire, creating a Hellfire zone that destroys anything in it. So that's what happens with the Spore Abomination. It also takes 3 damage to defeat it, meaning you need a dual attack. I don't think you can do it with a sniper rifle, but a dual attack from a 2 damage weapon like the heavy cutters that are in the game. Also, if you ever happen to connect spawn points via mold, it's impossible in this game. So for example, let's say there was a spawn point here, the Spore Abomination moved there, the mold is connected, we would then lose the game. So let's get rid of this mold. But let's also talk about line of sight, because the mold blocks line of sight. So how does line of sight work in Invader? Well, when you're in a room, you can see to the next room. You cannot see to like the room over. If a mold zone is inactive, it will act as a corridor. Also, mold eats through walls and things like that, meaning, I'm sorry, I just kind of jumped back to mold. If there's a mold here, as you can see, it kind of goes through. You now have a way through this room. But the mold will limit your line of sight here. So for example, I can see into the mold zone, but I cannot see through it. If it was an inactive mold zone, as through a room, I can see like one more space. I'm able to see through it. Active mold limits what I can see. So that's how mold works. We've covered the O2. We've talked about concentrated attacks, and we showcased it at the beginning of round 2. So if you would like to see that and you've just skipped ahead, please just look down in the video description and you'll see how you can make a concentrated attack. One thing we haven't talked about at all, and I'm sure for those that are wondering, where are doors? Well, you can trigger doors. I'm just using the purple one because that's what I have out. Doesn't really matter. As a free action. So doors are more of a defensive feature now, whereas you can place them to slow the zombie attack. So if we had zombies here, like runners, for example, they would have to destroy the door as an action and then move. You have 5 door tokens. Once they are spent, you cannot get them again. Once again, actions are free, so you can open and close doors whenever you want on your turn. If there's a mold zone, that's not possible. It has destroyed the door. You can, however, place the door here or here. Doesn't really matter, however you want to set it up. That's how doors work in the game. Now we've now taken a look at the turret. Now the turret has a range of 1 zone to 3 zones away. What you then do is you roll 4 dice to make the attack. 4+ is a success. You would need to either have the remote for it or a survivor in the same zone as the turret. Now this is all 1 zone. Would be able to choose to activate it to shoot at the enemies. Just a recap for those of you that didn't watch the full thing. When it comes to searching, soldier characters like Magnus can only search in the security rooms. And let's once again take a look at outside, how the outside zones are broken up. So these power lines delineate the zone. So for example, let's say zombie movement, 100 triggers, moves 1, 2. They can fit anywhere really in this space. Their next movement, 1, 2 would bring them here. They're in this entire space. That's why this straddles here. This is 1 zone, which is different than other Zombicide games. As we've talked about searching, don't forget you get some cool items that you can do some stuff with. And, no, sorry, I say do some stuff with. You can get some items that will modify your limitations. So search drones are great for soldiers, not so much for civilians that can search anywhere. So sorry I got that a little bit jumbled up there. Just trying to download all the information for you. For those, the objective tokens are the same, except in Invader, these red ones typically give you a prototype weapon. Now, what's important about a prototype weapon is that it's an energy weapon. You'll see all these symbols that are energy, meaning that it can be used outside. Only energy weapons can be shot outside. Weapons with bullets do not work outside, and these prototype weapons require an energy cell, which you need to find to use. So how it would look on a player board. Actually, we've got a perfect place right here. Put the energy cell down, weapon over it. Now you can use it. So prototype weapons can be used outside and inside. And those are really the big differences in the game. For those of you watching how to play, you really saw me moving the bot around. You need to have the ability remote control bot, or you need the green objective token, which would then allow you to use the bot. So as we've got the purple one, there's a green one, which corresponds to the bot, hence the color coding of the cards. And there you have it. We've really covered the differences now between Zombicide Invader and some of the other versions of Zombicide. Don't worry, at the end of the video, we'll have some links to our other Zombicide content so you can see a little bit more like just the basics of how you play the game. Now keep it right here, as Julie and I are going to be coming back at you with our review of the game. So Zombicide Invader. What did you think of the game? People know what you thought about Black Plague and Green Horde. I wonder if you remember right now.
I don't know that I remember what I said about it. I know I enjoy it. I'm going to start by what the things I like about this. Again, the minis are really cool. I think each of the characters, the minis are really cool, and though I can't really tell the difference between some of the zombies, the bigger ones are definitely cool. That Abomination is quite disgusting, and I can only imagine what it would look like if it was painted.
Yes.
I really also like the production quality of this game. I don't know if you've got a Kickstarter exclusives or not, but in this case, the plastic versions, like the tokens and the mold, even that's plastic, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. So sorry to cut you off. Those are add-ons that we got. So during the components, I only showcased what you get in the box, but we did end up getting the plastic add-ons.
Well, I thought they were pretty cool. And obviously we've talked about this in other versions. So if you haven't seen what we said about the others, you could go back and see. I'm going to skip ahead and say you'll see links at some point to the.
Yes. Well, you know what? Right about now, I'll put a card. It'll pop up.
They always pop up in front of my face, Jason.
Well, in any case, it'll take you back.
Probably right in front of my face here.
Yes. So you can see what we've said about some of the other Zombicide games.
So we like the playmats. I like the playmats. You do too. The way, you have all of your stuff, your backpack, everything that's there.
Oh, you meant the boards.
The boards.
Yes.
Play mat, play board.
Oh, one is a mat, the other is a plastic board.
Okay. Potato. So that being said, I enjoyed that we've tried quite a few different characters, and they were fun. I got to have a couple. There was some special powers that were fun, and we got to work together. I think a lot more in this version than we did in others. They're not as cool as Green Horde. I still wish I could. It would be cool to bring Wonder Woman into this.
I don't think it quite works, but you never know. If we want to do some crazy mashup one day, break all the rules, I guess it could work. The boards are just a little different and a couple other things.
Yeah, I know I went through the characters saying, who's this supposed to be? Who's this supposed to be? Asking, because I don't know a lot of them.
But the Green Horde ones are definitely more distinct. I agree with you on that.
But it was fun anyways. I mean, I would have played Marty McFly, but he just seemed a little bit wimpy for what, the way I like to play and what we needed to do. I know he's not called Marty McFly, but that's obviously who he's supposed to be. And, so for me, for that, I mean, the last mission we played, was a little boring. It was a little easy and a little boring, and kind of just felt like we were going through the motions. But the other ones that we tried, we definitely depending on how cards come up, we had 3 activations in a row for the Abomination. So I got killed and we died.
Yeah, there was nothing to be done about it. Literally, it was like 1, 2, 3, dead. We've had a couple of times in the game where we just lost due to bad luck. I don't think we've actually played a game yet where the Abomination hasn't shown up.
No, it always has, and I'm presuming it should, But when it activates three times in the same turn, there's no way you could have planned for that. You got to try to play the game. You can't be afraid of the abomination all the time. You got to be able to try to attack it at some point.
Yes. No, I agree with you. I really like the production value. Like one thing that you mentioned about the minis, I think these minis might actually be a little bit more detailed than the ones in Black Plague Green Horde. Not quite sure. They're close. I didn't love the art for this game, to be honest. You can see on the front box, but I do feel like it comes across better in the minis than the art. I think this is the first time I would say that like the big bulky armor looks cool on the mini, better than it does on the character board.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did play the game, we did play just the base characters. We used some of our nice bling, as Julie talked about, to make the game just a little cooler. But we did get an experience with the base characters. Then we started bringing in the Kickstarter exclusive characters. And there definitely does seem to be a difference between some of the Kickstarter characters.
Definitely.
Well, I don't feel like the power grade is as drastic as it was in Green Horde.
I mean, there isn't a Wonder Woman that basically can smash everybody?
Yes. Nor are there characters that start with 2 level blue skills that are basically like jumping over everyone and just having a good old time. No. It's definitely a lot more balanced, different skills, and I could definitely see using the base game characters with the Kickstarter characters. They all have their own like ups and downs. That being said, Dr. Falconer kind of really completely replaces Mitsuki. There's no point in using her when you can just remote control everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit of the downside. If you are just getting the base game version, there are some cooler characters out there.
Well, Mitsuki was definitely cool to play with when we played the base.
Yeah. But I got Falconer who can just, use the bot and the sentry gun, so why would you ever play with Mitsuki? So that is one of the negatives of most CMON games, is that if you don't get in on the Kickstarter, you are kind of missing something. Now, they have announced that they will be releasing some character packs and some more expansions. What I've seen in those character packs, a few of them were actually Kickstarter characters, so maybe more of them will actually hit retail. It doesn't bother me, might bother some people, but I do want everyone to get a good chance to play the game. I do agree with you as well. This felt a lot more cooperative and collaborative than the other versions of the game, because it did feel like we were seeing a lot more 2 damage monsters coming up early on. And we don't have any starting equipment. We really needed to search, plan things out, and move. Speaking to the last mission that we played, the one that you said felt really easy, that was actually because the way we were moving and creating sources of noise, we kind of pulled the zombies apart and sort of bought ourselves more time than people were actually able to sneak past, and made the mission just incredibly easy, despite the fact that we had a spoiler abomination out there ruining stuff. So before we sort of move on to our final thoughts, what did you think of like the new mechanics, like the gun, the bot, the mole?
Well, that was fun. I mean,
the new zones as well.
So the outside zones obviously are bigger and allow us to move maybe a little bit more in space.
More rapidly.
The guns were definitely cool. I played with, as I said, with Mitsuki when we were playing with the base characters, and it's cool to be able to have that bot and to be able to control it. And it definitely adds something, obviously, to be able to play because, in one playthrough, my character didn't pick up anything where I could shoot in space. So being able to know that I could make it to the gun and then therefore be able to activate the gun and use it made it feel a lot better. Otherwise, I would have been stuck inside with a character that can't help everybody else.
No, and I have to agree with you. And just talking about some of the new stuff, like I like the mold, how it like destroys stuff, and you've got to be careful. So killing the abomination is important. The concentrated attack rule actually gives you the opportunity. I mean, if you find 2 damage weapons, you can at least go, I'm going in.
2 1s to make a 2, you mean?
Well, no, or 2 damage to go after the abomination, as I was saying, or 2 1s to charge the tank. You can try to take stuff out. The characters definitely feel like they take a little bit more damage a lot easier, so you need to be cautious. And I do like the fact that you need to get O2 to go outside. That's a completely new element, and it works really well. That's one of the reasons why it's a little difficult to adapt like other characters into Zombicide Invader. When you look at the boards, if you haven't seen our components, you can take a look down in the timestamps, jump back. The player boards are completely different. They're very much designed to have 2 body slots in a specific fashion with stuff slotting into your cards because you can pretty much power up any weapon. And one thing we didn't mention is the doors. What did you think of the doors as a defensive mechanic instead of something that you needed to open?
It definitely helped us in this case, in this last mission, put up, and even the one before that, even though we got killed by, a three attacked abomination, putting up a door and allowing, and it not costing something, but having it, basically be closed and have to stop the monsters or slow them down a little bit. That definitely made it interesting. And it's interesting also to be able to open it. So basically in that last mission, open the door, shoot at the bad guys, close the door, and run away. So that was fun as well. Whereas before it would have been an action to close that door and wouldn't have been able to do as much.
Yeah, or you have to smash it open in order to get inside.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel that the theme is quite present in the game. That's the last thing I think we should talk about is really the theme. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about the art. I don't think the art in this is anything to write home about, but the tiles, I think, really enhance the theme compared to the Black Plague and the Green Horde tiles, and that's the version that we own. I felt that these tiles looked a lot better, and I liked the way everything really felt. You get a sci-fi feel, the bigger zones, the claustrophobia, they're using an airlock. All of this little stuff that they added into the game, I think creates a unique Zombicide experience. Now, the question will be, when we give our final thoughts, is this unique enough to justify having this game if you aren't the biggest fan of Zombicide, or you're the hugest fan of Zombicide?
Yeah. Okay, so are you going for that? Do you want to go
first?
Well,
you didn't talk about the theme.
Oh, there's not much to say about the theme. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't add anything for me. Yes, I think.
But does the mechanics capture the theme?
Yeah. I think the mechanics do that, and the thought of mold zombies, spawning from mold and invading in these spaces inside are kind of frightening. Besides that, it is thematic, and that's all I can say really.
Yeah, I think we both agree. It feels sci-fi and it feels different.
Yeah.
So give your thoughts on the game. And is this something that a Zombicide fan needs to have, or will this maybe change somebody's mind about Zombicide?
Well, if you're a huge sci-fi fan and weren't really into, Green Horde, I think honestly for me, Green Horde is still my favorite Zombicide. I still prefer it to this one. This has an interesting mechanic and it's fun, but I like the quirkiness of the other characters. It brings more to it for me than this does. But it's still fun. It's a lot of fun, and if you like the sci-fi theme, I think I've said it often enough. I'm not going to repeat myself multiple times here. Zombies aren't my thing, so take it or leave it with that. But when it comes to the game mechanic, I think this is my second after Green Horde.
No, and I have to agree with you. I think that in terms of having fun with Zombicide, and it also would depend on the group of people that we were playing with, I think I'd more often than not take out Green Horde. The zaniness of the characters, some of the stuff that they can do is just a lot more fun. You do have characters that are a little bit more overpowered, but that being said, we are members of the West Island board game group, and I know that they don't always play cooperative games, but I could see us having a lot more fun with Invader because of its strategic elements with that type of gamer than, say, some of our friends who I know would have a lot more fun being like, well, you know what? I look like Wonder Woman. I'm going to smash something. Oh, guess what? I'm Wolverine or Badger, and I'm going to go claw you all to death, and I can regenerate. So there's little things like that I think do give Invader a place in a Zombicide collection. I think it's distinct enough from Green Horde, and by far I think the one thing we can agree is it's got the best rule set. I would consider actually adapting the concentrated attack rules into Green Horde. Honestly, if we didn't have characters like Wonder Woman that were able to hit for such high damage, right off the get-go, it'd be something that we might want to consider.
And we keep calling her Wonder Woman, but she's not called Wonder Woman in the game.
I can't remember the name. There are so many characters.
Me neither. She's just obviously Wonder Woman.
Well, she's got a W on her chest and a sword and a lasso.
But again, we're talking now about Invader and not Green Horde, not to confuse things. So give it your score.
So I'm going to give this, I was thinking 7.5, but the cooperative elements of the game and the fact that I like the minis and I like the mechanics overall, I'm going to give it an 8. I think that this is probably the best Zombicide game. And one of the reasons I'm going to rate it higher than Green Horde is because what really puts Green Horde over the top for me are the Kickstarter exclusives. So if I had to compare this base game to base game, this is a better base game than Green Horde.
Okay, I understand your logic. I don't follow it though. In my rating, this is what you gave me to play with, and for me, it's a 7.5. I don't even remember what I gave Green Horde, so I think I gave it an 8, but I don't remember. So it's just, one level, half a level below.
Excellent. So what can people do now, Julie?
They can like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notification when we have some new content for you.
If you'd like to see some pictures from our playthroughs, I didn't quite show us getting murdered, but us losing quite horribly at least twice while we played this game. Take a look down below in the video description after the timestamps and the game description. We've got links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're a lot more active on them than we have been. Plenty of content and pictures to see there.
Yep.
And popping up shortly, well, right about an hour after the drink, you'll see links back to other related videos. They will be maybe both Zombicide related, maybe not. I haven't decided yet. We'll see when it comes to editing the video.
So now it's time to grab our drinks. And grab our best friends. I don't care what he says.
Okay.
We gotta keep playing games.
I'm going to keep playing games. I'm looking forward to trying the Black Ops expansion that we got for this, which is a straight up expansion. Then we've got Dark Tide, where it's at night. We're on the dark side of the planet.
That sounds
and
like
there's
fun.
some cool new rules, actually.
Sounds like fun.